Hi Tiziana, hi everyone. I hope you're all safe during this very challenging time. Tiziana asked me to talk a little bit about my kitchen exhibitions, obviously thinking about the lockdown, where so many people are in their homes. And my first exhibition actually did happen in my student apartment in St. Gallen. It happened in 1991 when I was 23 years old. I had traveled a lot and wanted to make my first show. So Peter Fischli and David Weiss, the Swiss artists, came to my home and they realized that even the kitchen was full with books. As Anthony Powell says, books do furnish a room, and so they thought one could maybe liberate the kitchen and get the books out and do something else, and that was really the beginning of the show. Christian Boltanski came up with this idea of projecting a candle where usually the garbage would be, so a little miracle occurred, a kitchen miracle. Fischli Weiss installed a kitchen altar, which is basically oversized food. It's like food storage almost, for huge quantities of noodles, of ketchup, and for restaurant supply. And obviously everything seemed too big, and it reminds one very much of one's childhood, where things do appear much bigger than they do later on. And so suddenly there was a play with dimensions, and the exhibition lasted for 3 months. It had to do with what Robert Musil says, that art can happen where we expected least. And 29 visitors came over probably 3 months, and then we did a little publication. The budget of the entire show was 300 Swiss francs, approximately, I would say 200 euros. A catalog was published. We decided to do a box, kind of inspired by Duchamp's box. I wanted the catalog to be a box. It's a yellow envelope. It was published by Walter Koenig, by Octagon. There you have it. The title came from Richard Wentworth. It was World Soup. And here you see the building in Schwalbenstraße in Switzerland, Schwalbenstraße number 10 in St. Gallen. The window in the middle, that's where the kitchen took place. And we published first of all the catalog. Here you have it, the World Soup idea, the window, and the different artworks. There's a little text I wrote. I'm going to read to you now. The present catalog is a collection of all the exhibits of the kitchen show, taking place from July the 10th to September 1991 at Schwabenstraße 10, St. Gallen, Switzerland. This project turns the space of the kitchen into an exhibition space. The reality of the kitchen and the reality of the artwork are linked to each other, the combination of these two levels of reality being a symbiotic one. The original function of the kitchen is maintained. At the same time, the question of autonomy and function of the exhibits arises in a context that is not designed for exhibition. Starting point is the idea to present an exhibition in an unspectacular place. So not only in an unexpected place, but also in an unspectacular place. So here you have Frédéric Polivoibre, who would send daily, weekly, I would say, drawings from the Ivory Coast, La sculpture en faveur de la cuisine, the sculpture in favor of the kitchen. And here the altar of Peter Fischli and David Weiss. We won't have time to go into all the exhibits, so I just wanted to show you a few examples. After the first one did not want to exhibit in the kitchen, he wanted to exhibit in the fridge. So that became a very important thing, I think, for many shows later on, that an exhibition would always hide in another exhibition. It's like a Russian matrushka. And here you have the fridge exhibition. Here again, the altar of these oversized food quantities forming a kitchen altar. And then besides this little catalog, which guides you into leads you into the kitchen window, each artist did a special artwork for the publication, so it became, in a way, a box of multiples. So here, another drawing of Frédéric Polivoibre. It's called La Rose, le bon lait, the rose and the good coffee. And here, Fischli Weiss, they basically found these 63 Sparbons. These are basically coupons for reduced prices in a in a Coop supermarket, a cooperative supermarket in Switzerland, and they did not comment on this. It's basically an exact facsimile as found, but reprinted. Yeah, and I would say the spirit of the exhibition was very much DIY, do it yourself, and it was then soon after followed by an exhibition I started called Do It, which also was actually revisited a lot during the lockdown. We got a lot of Google and social media alerts also on Twitter, on Instagram, on WeChat from countries in lockdown where people would take out the Do It books and actually realize some of these Do It instructions at home. And of course, it's also important to get as away from the screen to do things. Do It is a project we started with Christian Boltanski and Bertrand Lavier in 1993, and we have been touring it to more than 165 cities. It's an exhibition which is always newly generated. There's no transport involved. It's very sustainable. It's all locally produced, and we always make a local research and find local artists who work with instructions, with recipes, with how-to manual, with do-it-yourself art. And so we have an archive of so far about 400 of these instructions, and it's very wide-ranging. Franz West gives us instructions what we can do with a broom. It becomes a fitting piece, a Passstück. Louis Bourgeois says, smile at a stranger. Of course, now with social distancing, so that's more relation. So lots of different Do It versions. We decided to create a new Do It version, which will be launched next week with many new instructions. That's a collaboration between the Serpentine, John Caldor Projects, ICI, Independent Curator Incorporated in New York, and of course the Google Cultural Institute, who are hosting the platform and supporting the initiative. And we will basically have further venues in different parts of the world. So it's Do It around the world. And a very recent entry is Simone Forti, the artist, choreographer. She gave an instruction how actually to make a face mask in a DIY way out of underwear, and we'll have many more such new instructions in the Do It project. Thank you all so much for listening. Greetings to Tiziana, and talk to you soon. Bye bye.